Experiencing a tingle when touching your hot tub water indicates a potential electrical issue that needs immediate attention. Finding one fault between the water and a nearby structure suggests a ground fault or voltage leak. Here are some possible causes and solutions to systematically diagnose and rectify the problem. Firstly, double-check the wiring connections at the control box, electrical panel, and ground rod. Ensure proper termination and insulation. Use a multimeter to verify continuity between the bonding conductor and all metal components. This ensures that all parts intended to be at the same electrical potential are indeed connected and that no loose connections are present which could introduce resistance and voltage differences. Secondly, inspect the ground rod to ensure it is installed properly and making good contact with the soil. A ground rod provides a path for fault current to dissipate into the earth. Consider replacing the ground rod if it is corroded or damaged, as corrosion can significantly reduce its effectiveness. The ground rod should be driven deep enough into the soil to reach a level of consistent moisture. Thirdly, examine the bonding conductor for any breaks or damage. Replace it if necessary. Ensure the bonding conductor is properly attached to all metal components of the hot tub, including the motor housings and any metallic plumbing. The bonding conductor is crucial for maintaining equipotential bonding, meaning all metal parts are at the same voltage, minimizing shock hazards. Fourthly, a ground loop occurs when multiple paths to ground exist, creating a potential difference. Check if any other electrical appliances or devices are connected to the same ground rod or bonding conductor. This can create circulating currents in the grounding system, leading to voltage differences. If multiple paths to ground are present, isolate them by using separate ground rods or bonding conductors where appropriate, but always ensure compliance with local electrical codes. Fifthly, inspect the hot tub components such as the heater, pump, and filter for any leaks or damage. Use a multimeter to test for electrical leakage between the components and the water. Electrical leakage from these components can energize the water, creating a shock hazard. Testing for leakage involves measuring the voltage or current between the component's housing and the water. Any significant reading indicates a fault. Sixthly, reset the ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, breaker and test it with a GFCI tester. A GFCI is designed to trip when it detects a current imbalance, indicating a ground fault. If the GFCI breaker continues to trip, it may be faulty and require replacement. GFCI breakers are essential safety devices for hot tubs and should be tested regularly to ensure proper function. Seventhly, verify that the electrical panel is properly grounded with an 8-foot ground rod or other approved grounding method. Check the connections between the ground rod and the panel, as well as the neutral bus bar. A properly grounded electrical panel is fundamental for safety. Poor grounding can result in voltage fluctuations and increase the risk of electrical shock. Ensure the grounding electrode conductor is correctly sized and securely connected. When checking the wiring, pay close attention to the color coding to ensure everything is correctly connected. The hot wires should be connected to the breaker, the neutral wire to the neutral bus bar, and the ground wire to the grounding bus bar. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that there is no voltage present before touching any wires. This is an additional safety measure to prevent accidental shock. Ensure that all wire connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause resistance and heat, which can lead to further problems and potential fire hazards. Use the appropriate tools for tightening connections and avoid over-tightening, which can damage the wires or terminals. Inspect the insulation on all wires for any signs of damage, such as cracks or fraying. Damaged insulation can expose the conductors and create a shock hazard. Replace any wires with damaged insulation immediately. When inspecting the ground rod, ensure it is driven deep enough into the ground to make good contact with the soil. The top of the ground rod should be at least 8 feet below the surface of the earth. If the ground rod is too short or not driven deep enough, it may not provide adequate grounding protection. Check the connection between the bonding conductor and all metal components of the hot tub. Ensure that the bonding conductor is securely attached to each component and that there is no corrosion at the connection points. Clean any corrosion with a wire brush and apply a corrosion inhibitor to prevent future corrosion. When checking for ground loops, carefully inspect all electrical circuits and devices connected to the same grounding system. Look for any unintended paths to ground, such as metal pipes or conduits that are in contact with the earth. Isolate any ground loops by disconnecting the unintended paths to ground or by using isolation transformers. When testing for electrical leakage, use a multimeter to measure the current flow between the hot tub components and the water. A small amount of leakage current is normal, but any significant current flow indicates a problem. Consult a qualified electrician to determine the acceptable leakage current for your hot tub. When testing the GFCI breaker, use a GFCI tester to simulate a ground fault. The GFCI breaker should trip immediately when the tester is activated. If the GFCI breaker does not trip, it is faulty and needs to be replaced. Ensure that the replacement GFCI breaker is rated for the correct amperage and voltage for your hot tub. When verifying the electrical panel grounding, check the size and condition of the grounding electrode conductor. The grounding electrode conductor should be sized according to the electrical code and should be free from any damage or corrosion. Ensure that the grounding electrode conductor is securely connected to the ground rod and the neutral bus bar. Always follow safety precautions when working with electricity. Turn off the power to the hot tub at the circuit breaker before troubleshooting. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable troubleshooting electrical issues, contact a qualified electrician for assistance. Incorrectly addressing electrical issues can lead to serious injury or property damage. Consider the location of the hot tub and the surrounding environment. If the hot tub is located in an area with high soil resistivity, such as sandy or rocky soil, the grounding system may not be as effective. In these cases, it may be necessary to install additional ground rods or use other grounding methods to improve the grounding protection. Check the water chemistry of the hot tub. Imbalances in the water chemistry can cause corrosion of metal components, which can lead to electrical problems. Maintain the water chemistry according to the hot tub manufacturer's recommendations. Regularly inspect the hot tub for any signs of damage or wear, such as cracks, leaks, or corrosion. Address any issues promptly to prevent further damage and potential electrical problems. Keep the area around the hot tub clean and free from debris. Debris can accumulate and trap moisture, which can lead to corrosion and electrical problems. Ensure that the hot tub cover is properly installed and maintained. A damaged or poorly fitting cover can allow moisture and debris to enter the hot tub, which can lead to electrical problems. Consult the hot tub manufacturer's instructions for proper installation and maintenance procedures. The manufacturer's instructions provide valuable information about the hot tub's electrical system and how to properly maintain it. Keep a record of all maintenance and repairs performed on the hot tub. This record can be helpful for troubleshooting future problems and ensuring that the hot tub is properly maintained. Consider installing a surge protector to protect the hot tub's electrical components from power surges. Power surges can damage sensitive electronic components and lead to electrical problems. A surge protector can help to prevent this damage. Check the local electrical codes and regulations for any specific requirements for hot tub installations. The local electrical codes and regulations may have specific requirements for grounding, bonding, and GFCI protection. Ensure that your hot tub installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Regularly inspect the hot tub's electrical connections and components for any signs of overheating. Overheating can indicate a loose connection or a faulty component. If you notice any signs of overheating, turn off the power to the hot tub and contact a qualified electrician for assistance. Consider using a licensed electrician to perform a thorough inspection of the hot tub's electrical system. A licensed electrician has the expertise and equipment to identify and address any potential electrical problems. It is important to understand the difference between grounding and bonding. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, while bonding ensures that all metal components are at the same electrical potential. Both grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. When installing a new hot tub, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable electrical codes and regulations. A properly installed and maintained hot tub is a safe and enjoyable addition to any home. If you have any questions or concerns about the hot tub's electrical system, contact a qualified electrician for assistance. A qualified electrician can provide expert advice and ensure that your hot tub is safe and properly functioning. Remember that electrical safety is paramount. Always take precautions to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. By following these troubleshooting steps and safety precautions, you can identify and address the source of the tingle in your hot tub and ensure that it is safe to use. Finally, it is critical to remember that working with electricity can be dangerous, and if you are not comfortable performing any of these troubleshooting steps, it is always best to consult a qualified electrician.